Hi kids, it's Father Joe again today. This is the fourth week of Advent, and I had a decision about what hat I'm going to wear today, so my first choice was this one. And then I thought I'm going to be speaking about the three wise men today, so why not wear this one? What do you think? I've been telling all the staff that I really should have a crown that I get to wear around the office. What do you think? I knew you would agree with me. Okay, good. Actually, this is kind of heavy, so I might take it off while I tell the story. Oh, look what I have here. This is the Advent candle again, the Advent wreath, pardon me. And we lit this one and this one and this one, the rose one, the two violet ones. Now we're here on this one. It's the fourth Sunday of Advent, and the theme of the fourth Sunday of Advent is peace. So I think we can all try to be peaceful and make sure that we help create peace, right, in the world. So if anybody's picking on somebody at school, you want to make sure that everybody gets along, right? So always stick up for the people who are getting picked on and try to befriend them and really just be good, peaceful people, right? All of us can do that. So this is a story called The Wise Men Who Found Christmas. We all know about the three wise men, right? Sometimes they're called three kings, but really it's the more thing that gets closest to who they are is they're very wise, and we'll figure out why when we hear this story. So I'm going to read this. It starts off with a quote from the Bible. I know you all know what the Bible is. The people who walked in darkness have seen a great light. We know who that is, right? It's Jesus. Those who lived in a land of deep darkness, on them light has shined. So here we go. There are many tales of the wise men who followed the star to Bethlehem. We all know about that, right? The star of Bethlehem, but most are untrue. This is the way I remember it, and I was there. These are the three wise men on their horses, okay? In the Arabian kingdom of Nabatea, atop a temple in the city of Petra, Magi spotted a star blazing in the sky. While they all marveled at the sight, only three wise men among them debated what it could mean and what they should do about it. So here's everybody looking, but these three wise men in the front, they see it, and they're going to do something about it. Melchior, the oldest of the Magi, who was very ill, had heard Jewish prophecies of a Messiah. That's like a prediction of a Messiah to be born of a virgin. Even our own religion foresees a king who will raise the dead and destroy evil. Melchior gazed up to the heavens. The stars do not lie. He is coming, and I wish to see him while I can. We should follow the light. There he is, trying to convince them. If royalty is involved, we should inform our king, said Balthazar, who had spent years at the royal court. Let him decide our path. Go to the king. Then Caspar, the youngest, looked to his star charts. Have you ever seen anything like this? The stars are aligning. We must make haste to discover the truth. They agreed to share their findings with King Aretas. That's a king in the land where they live. We all know who the true king is, right? The king of Nabatea received his magi the following night. They showed him how Jupiter and Saturn had come together in the constellation of Aries to create one brilliant star. What does it tell us? Aretas wondered. A great king is to be born in Israel, Melchior said. Remember, he's the oldest one. Now, King Aretas had ties to the old and dangerous King Herod of Israel. King Herod was not a nice man. If a new prince were to be born in Israel, surely Herod would know. Right? I'm talking to King Aretas. Go to Herod as my representatives, King Aretas ordered. Bring this new king offerings from our land. To keep the peace, they would honor the prince with Nabatea's most precious goods. Do you know what the three gifts are that they brought to the baby? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Gold is like a precious metal, we know that. Frankincense is incense, frankincense, and myrrh is like an oil, an ointment. Whenever we baptize babies, we actually put that on them. We will follow the light, Melchior promised. Go to the king, Balthazar added, and make haste to discover the truth, Caspar said. That's the gold, frankincense, and myrrh. By the time they gathered their caravan and Melchior mounted his faithful horse, The star disappeared from the sky. Confused and in darkness, the wise men galloped along trade routes they knew well, around the Dead Sea, past Bethlehem. We know what that is, right? And on to Jerusalem. But the ride was long, and old Melchior grew weary. Though he had said nothing, his old bones plainly ached, and his side stung with pain. That's them rushing to try to find the new king. After several days, the wise men arrived at the court of Herod the Great. Balthasar elegantly bowed. Your Highness, we seek the newborn king of the Jews. I am the king of the Jews, Herod snapped. There is no other. There must be. We saw his star at his rising, and have come to worship him, Melchior said. Herod was greatly troubled. He was angry. Bring me the priests and scribes, he shouted to his servants. I'm telling you, Herod was not a nice person, okay? There he is. Very jealous. If a Messiah were to appear, where would he be born? King Herod demanded. One priest came forward, in Bethlehem of Judea. For so it is written by the prophet, and you, O Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, from you shall come a ruler who will govern my people Israel. Then the jealous, I told you he was jealous, Herod had an idea. He whispered to the wise men, go and search diligently for the child, and when you have found him, send me word that I, and in a cruel look flashed his eyes, that I may go and worship him too. The wise men nervously bowed and thanked the old king. I don't think they believed him. I think they knew he wanted to do something mean to Jesus. Outside the palace, Caspar sighed, how will we ever find the child? Perhaps we should go back to Nabatea, Balthasar suggested. Melchior felt lost. He hung his head in silence, a hand on his aching side. That's when Melchior's horse nudged his master's face heavenward. Even the horse wants to see Jesus. For in the sky, the star that they had seen in the east rose before them. The old man yanked at his horse's reins. The light, we must follow the light, he said. Go to the newborn king, Balthasar asked. Yes, Caspar said, dashing ahead of the others. Make haste to discover the truth. There they are. They're all going to run to go see Jesus on their horses. Once they reached the little town of Bethlehem, the wise men asked the townfolk where the newborn king might be. There is no king here, some said. King? Herod is our only king. Then a shepherd told them that one night as he tended his sheep, angels appeared in the sky above him. They told him that a savior had been born, a tiny baby wrapped in swaddling clothes, who the shepherd later saw with his own eyes. Take us to that king, Balthasar said. I don't know where he is. It was months ago, the shepherd said. But he is with us. The child lives. Do you remember Jesus was born? There were shepherds in the field, and they saw everything. So they're going to help the kings. Melchior focused on the moving star blazing overhead. The light will show us the way to the child. It will not fail us. And though members of the caravan grumbled, the wise men pressed forward. They knew what they wanted. They wanted to see Jesus. The star led them through dark streets and narrow alleys, then stopped suddenly. Before them, a long tail of starlight touched the top of one small house. Melchior's heart raced, even at his side throbbed with pain. Had they really found the newborn Messiah? Balthasar frowned in bewilderment. How could this humble home hold a king? But Caspar stumped out an excited little dance, grabbing the cask of frankincense from one of the camels. Then Melchior noticed something odd. He had assumed that the radiant beam of light spilled down from above, but now he realized that the light actually shot up to the star from an opening in the roof of the house. Follow the light, Melchior murmured, clutching his side and running to the little house. So a light's coming from the house. It's coming from, who do you think it's coming from, kids? It's coming from the light of the world. It's Jesus. Inside, the wise men found the one they had sought, a newborn child in a cradle. Mary, the child's mother, welcomed them. We all know Mary, right? When we say the Hail Mary. You have come from the east. He has been awaiting your arrival. For the first time in his long life, Melchior was speechless. The glow of the child filled him with awe. Go to the king, Balthasar urged him. Make haste to discover the truth, Caspar whispered. See, there's Mary with little baby Jesus. And they're all so excited. You can see how happy they are to see baby Jesus. They realized he's the king. Each of the wise men knelt down and worshiped the baby Jesus, presenting their gifts of, do you remember? Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. How happy they are. And of course, Mary's happy at her new little baby. Mary then placed the babe in Melchior's arms. Have you ever held a baby? I held babies all the time when I baptized them. I love babies. In a hush, the old man told the child things he held deep in his heart, his desire to see the king whose star he'd witnessed at the rising of their long and confusing journey and of the illness that had weakened him. When he returned the baby to the cradle, Melchior's face shone, his face all lit up, because he got to hold Jesus, the light of the world. Are you all right? Caspar asked Melchior as they departed. Melchior touched his side. I have no pain. The child has healed me. What wonders we have seen this night, Balthasar marveled. Should we go to tell King Herod? Not yet, Melchior said. We will camp here tonight and then proceed to Jerusalem in the morning. I think they were on to King Herod. They realized he wanted to know where Jesus was so he could be mean to him. Right? As they slept, Melchior, Balthasar, and Caspar dreamed the same dream. A bright star appeared before them and transformed into an angel. Be not afraid, I have found you from the beginning. I've been with you from the beginning, it announced. If you return to Herod, you will place yourselves and the child Jesus in great danger. See, I told you, go home a different way. In the morning, each wise man did as he was told and headed home on an entirely new path. For the rest of his days, Melchior continued to follow the light and spread it to others. Balthasar no longer cared about the royal courts of the world, but he never stopped urging those to go to the king, the smallest he had ever worshipped. And deep into old age, Caspar, with haste, passed the truth he had discovered on to any who would listen. And the light the wise men found in Bethlehem centuries ago still shines for all who see it. I should know. I saw it myself and carried the tale. Who do you think's telling the story, children? See if you can guess. Him. The horse who carried them there. What a great story. Children, this is very exciting. So we're going to celebrate Christmas on December 25th, but on January 6th, we celebrate what we call Little Christmas, right? Just around January 6th each year, and we celebrate the wise men. So if we want to be wise ourselves, we're going to follow the light, and the light of the world is Jesus. Have a great Christmas, kids. God bless.